But then breaking down some of the why behind it. I think making sure that you're reinforcing this is why we're doing it. You know, what skills did you have to use as a team to accomplish this goal? So it's not just a game, but you're teaching after the game and reminding them of this is why we're doing this.
If you're not after that growth mindset where in college this is more of your lifestyle, like to me in youth and in high school this is a hobby, this is something you enjoy doing with some of your spare time, but once you hit that college level it starts turning into a lifestyle. So now you're eating the right way, are you hanging out with the right people, are you getting a chance to go to do the things that you want to do on the side, get the right sleep? I mean, it's a different management style, but I think it comes with maturity. We all make our pitfalls and downfalls and mistakes, but I think that's the biggest thing is, are you going to quit or are you going to just bounce back up, say, yep, screwed up, own up to it, move on? That's the difference. So yeah, I think that's what everybody's after is if you have that growth mindset, good things are going to happen. If you kind of get locked in where I know it all, I'm okay, and winning tournaments and trophies, like, well, good luck to you in the long term. I'll see you in the final, hopefully.
Leadership, but followership, right? Everybody wants to raise their hand and call themselves a leader and say they're a leader, but if everyone's leading in so many different directions, who's following, right? And I think from that perspective, one of the biggest things that I implement in our programs and in my teams, I try to, is it's a structured order from freshmen to seniors, right? And what that is, I took this from the Air Force Academy and I apply it to our program. And it's called the PITO leadership model, the PITO. So, and what that is it's a integrated system over the course of 4 years where we develop our players from their freshman year through their senior year. And at that core, again, are of course, the core values and always keeping the focus on leadership and character.
But at certain times, retreating is a good tactic. If you feel like, oh, I'm in a situation here, or like I've took on too much too soon, or like, oh, this is the ego here, where I'm just like, I've been in the past, I've been in a situation where like, at work, I'm trying to do it, I'm trying to prove myself, and it's like, I can do this, I can do that, and then suddenly you're in a situation like, I took too much on. Like, for me, that's not quitting, that's retreating, be able to go, you know what, I need to retreat here. It's not like quit, I'm going to come again.
As you're coaching everything, you end up coaching nothing. So same thing with these, like as we co-construct IDP plans, like they have to be concise, and you have to give them enough that they can actually be able to work at it. Because if you just give them a bunch to work on, they're going to be trying to work on everything at the same time, that they're going to actually make progress on none of it.
Yeah. Well, that is what's so great about coaching, right? It's like you never stop developing, you never stop learning. And the players you're working with, every year, they're also developing, they're changing. There's different type of players that come in, different type of people, which is so fun about our job, right? As you get to work with such a wide variety of individuals and their beliefs and how they were raised and, you know, how they even develop. And I think that's what keeps us on our toes, but that's what the highlight is of our job. It's every day is very different, which is so much fun, and it's because of the people you're surrounded by. So I think, you know, I never want to stop learning about the game. It's always changing, and I think that's what one of my favorite parts of it is. When I've stopped learning about the game, then I've stopped doing my job for these players and for this program. So like I always want to keep learning about the game, different ways that you can tactically change things and adjust things. It's just a fun puzzle that you get to create with your program. So that's always a really fun part of the developmental piece. But I think just with me continuing to develop, I think that leadership, you just never stop working on it. And you always hear coaches talk about you never stop working on your team's culture. I think as coaches, we can never stop working on us as leaders and how we lead these programs and lead these student athletes.
But we set the expectations, how you'll see us on a training night and how we behave, and on a match day how we behave. You won't hear us shouting and screaming like you might see the coach next to us doing. You'll see us making notes and having conversations with parents, having the honest conversations and doing what we need to do, whether it's for the team or an individual player. But we set those expectations and how we behave. I think behaviours is a massive thing within the game, and how you behave as a coach then goes on how your players behave. If you drop your standards, you allow your players to drop your standards. If you keep the high standards, you keep that expectation. I know going into under 15s now, behaviours have started to change. And it's getting a little bit more feisty with the other teams. But I know my team know if they were to drop to their level, that I'd have a problem and I'd probably have them off the pitch quicker than a referee would have them off the pitch, because that's not what I expect as a coach.
I suppose you talked about regrets earlier, and this is not necessarily regret, but it's a bit of a disappointment in terms of before I had that opportunity that we talked about when I signed for Stoke. I had the opportunity where there's a possibility that I was going to sign for Southampton in the first division, and when Chris Nichol and myself spoke, and then Chris Nichol and St Albans City talked. Obviously, the transfer fee couldn't be agreed. But you say about having these players around you, and just being around players with Shearer and Matt Letizia, for instance, and training with them is just an eye-opener. So, it's a shame that didn't go through. But as you know, the second opportunity came by, and I was just fortunate and blessed to be able to have that opportunity to play in the second division with Stoke.
The teacher didn't understand me at all, but he used to bully me for it. And he used to, so when we was doing rounders, instead of catching the ball, because I still couldn't catch the ball then, which is another coordination element, he used to sarcastically applaud in front of my class, saying, "Oh, well done, Jordan, you still can't catch a ball when everybody else can." So he used to single me out.
And I'm the same, I rarely missed any games, any training, and the one that I did miss last year, I missed a game and they won without me. And that sent me into a whole another level, because they were all on the Facebook page after, they were saying how great it was, and I just thought, they won because I wasn't there. And that was then something else that I didn't think I'd ever have to overthink. But actually, you're talking about a kids team, other under 18s, and
coaching. I didn't come home till 10 o'clock at night, and I was leaving at 7 o'clock in the morning, and all of a sudden I didn't really have a social life. And it was then, "Well, you're choosing football over me," and I go, "Well, yeah, I am, because football has been here before you, and football will be here after you, and that's the one thing I'm going to dedicate myself to." We laugh and joke about it now, but it's an industry where if you really, really take it seriously and want to be the best that you can, especially like for me, where as a coach and a player, and I'm like on the training pitch at 5 o'clock in the evening and potentially not finished training until 10 o'clock at night, and then I've got my job in the daytime, it's quite hard to buy into. And you've only really got yourself to kind of motivate yourself and look after yourself. You're in these different environments. I've got my teammates, I've got coaching staff, I've then obviously got my family, but you only realise what you're doing and the sacrifices you're making and actually how much you want it.